In this video, I'm going to go over some habits and mistakes that could be holding you back from winning your ranked games. Some of these could be new to you, so I'm hoping this video will help you out. You can listen to this in the background while you do something else or watch some clips, but the focus here is on what I'm sharing. These are things you can start working on right now, and I'm confident you'll see real improvement in your ranked games. Okay, so the first topic I want to talk about is about your sleep. I know you might be thinking, what does sleep have to do with playing Valorant or any competitive game? Well, I'm sure you probably have played Valorant late at night or early morning where you are tired and need some rest, and because of that, you are not able to think as clearly about strategy in your matches, or have good decision making, or even be as reactive. We've all had games where we are a bit too tired and we have decided to queue up, and now we're stuck for 40 minutes to an hour playing without our full concentration and ability. Valorant is a game where you need to react within milliseconds in a gunfight, or be able to focus and consider many variables regarding what is happening in the game. Things like economy, utility usage, your game plan, thinking about what the enemy is likely to do, thinking about what to do if our original game plan doesn't work, and so on. There's many things to think about in a match. I understand, depending on your schedule, you may want to play a bit longer because you have other plans the next day or later on, but if you are playing for the reason to rank up, I believe it is best to play when you are ready to play and not to play just for the sake of it. Part of being ready to play involves making sure you're both satiated and hydrated. If you're hungry or thirsty, it can impact your focus and performance. A distracted mind can lead to missed shots, bad positioning, and poor decision making. If you're feeling off, it's probably a sign that your body needs attention. Take a moment to hydrate or grab a light snack. Staying properly fueled and hydrated helps you stay sharp and maintain your energy levels. I don't mean for you to eat a heavy meal, because if you do that, then you're going to be slow and sluggish due to a food coma. Having a balance of not being hungry, but not too full, along with being hydrated, I think can help you focus and perform better. There's a reason why in intense situations which require focus, such as an exam or an interview, that people recommend having water. Try having water occasionally during your ranked session and see if it makes a difference. The next topic I want to discuss is about your mood. You've probably heard people say, don't play ranked when you're tilted or in a bad mood, and they're right. There are already multiple things which are out of your control when you queue up, but try your best to take care of the things you can control, such as your mindset and how you're feeling. I'm not expecting anyone to be angry to suddenly watch this video and say, oh, wow, thanks. You just told me to be happy to play, and now I'm going to be happy, even though two of my teammates trolled last game. No, I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is, you know what helps you cool off. Whether that is playing your favorite song, watching a funny video, or taking a break from the desk for a few minutes, and then locking in, doing what you need to do. I'm not saying you need to be happy to play, but at least be in a neutral mood where you're able to focus and not rush decisions, or get irritated at mistakes. Before your next game, ask yourself, am I in a good enough mood to play, or am I not in a good mood? Will my mood negatively affect my performance? Be honest with yourself and let me know if you notice a difference in your performance depending on your mood. The next topic is about playing ranked when you are in a rush for time. If you need to go somewhere, if you have class or work or anything which is soon, like in an hour or so, and you start a ranked game, I don't think you'll be able to truly focus. The reason why I say this is because you don't know how long a game can last. If the enemy team surrenders or you win 13-2, okay, maybe it's fine, but the problem is, how do you play when it's 8-8 and you need to go out soon? I think you would probably not be able to fully focus because you're worried about how much time you have left, and if you're rushing your match, I don't think you'll be able to focus properly, perform properly, as it may add pressure to finish the game quickly and you may make poor decisions because of this. So please, if you feel that you don't have enough time to comfortably play, do something else which can help your ranked journey, like watching educational videos, looking at your gameplay if you recorded any matches, or something else which can help you. What you also need to consider before playing ranked is warming up. This is something that other YouTubers have mentioned, so this isn't something new. But I want to remind you why it's important. Warming up can be time consuming, especially if you don't have as much time as you'd like to play Valorant. I understand that. So what I would recommend is to take 5 to 10 minutes, maybe one deathmatch game, just to get into the rhythm, especially if you haven't played in a few days. Think about it. Before a workout, you warm up first, so your body gets used to the motion and can handle more intense exercise safely. The same goes for ranked. I think it would be better to warm up and get used to your peripherals so your body is ready, your hand-eye coordination is good, and you are ready to play. You don't want your first gunfight to be the first round in your ranked game where you're not used to your mouse, keyboard, monitor, etc. Let that first gunfight be in a deathmatch or in training, so when you enter ranked, you are ready to go. Okay, so now you're ready to play ranked, but before you do so, ask yourself, what is your goal? Is your goal just to win games or to learn or improve in a skill? If your goal is just to win, then your mood is going to be affected by the outcome of the game, and I think you are going to feel more irritated at mistakes but also happier on successes. This can be good, but may I suggest to play with the intention to learn and improve, where the outcome doesn't matter, and that way you are less likely to be tilted. If your goal is to improve your crosshair placement or utility usage, and if your teammate is trolling, yeah, it is annoying and not ideal. However, because your goal is to improve on individual skills that you can control, your improvement will be able to help you progress in rank, maybe not in this game because of the troll, but in your future games where that issue is no longer there. It can be frustrating when you want to rank up and there are reasons you lose which are out of your control, but keep in mind that you can only control how you play. If your focus is to win, and you do, but you are at the bottom of the scoreboard and for example you never peeked an angle correctly or you didn't use your utility well, if you take that same habit and apply that to a different match, you probably aren't going to perform well too, but this time you will lose the new game. On the other hand, if you improve your crosshair placement, utility usage, improve on how you enter sight, and you lost, that's okay, because there are going to be more games where you win and it's because of your improvement. I understand rank is important, but you need to trust the process and play with the intention to learn. This will help in the long run, but also reduce the chances of you getting frustrated if you lose. So now we are talking about what we can do during a ranked match. One thing I like to recommend is to ask yourself, what's my plan? Even if it's something fairly simple where you think about where you want to play, what utility you are going to use, what specifically from the enemy are you going to be cautious of, I feel that would be a good start. For example, if you're playing Sova, you can drone at the start of the round and say if you don't hear the enemy cipher traps from your drone, you can tell your team that information and then recon dart where your drone wasn't able to reveal. That's just an example. Then once you do that, you can assess what to do next. Things to consider when it comes to pre-round planning include economy of both teams, who has ultimate, what utilities you can buy, how will you use your utility, where to push, what habits have you identified from the enemy so you can counter it. These are a few things to get into the habit of thinking about before the next round. The next topic links to the pre-round planning, which is not to multitask if you are doing so. When you are playing, I don't recommend listening to music or having any form of distractions when playing, as you may miss hearing enemy footsteps or any key sound cues. Also, if you're chatting with friends who are not in the game, that can also distract you from what's going on in your match, where you are splitting your attention by having a conversation with your friend and trying to focus on the game. Also, when you die in a round, do not go on your phone, do not watch YouTube, TikTok, or anything else distracting. In ranked, use the time when you're dead to think about what went wrong that round and what to do for the next round. Or maybe tell your team important information like where is the enemy that killed you and how much damage you did. You can also use the time to focus on any habits you identified the enemy doing and thinking about how to counter it next round. If you're serious about ranked, you need to give it your full attention, just as how when you are doing an exam or an interview, you need to give it your full attention to do your best. I recommend treating Valorant ranked the same way. If you want to just hang out and chill, then sure, go for that in a non-ranked match. But if you're serious about ranking up, then I recommend taking it seriously and giving it your full focus. The next topic is related to reflecting and reviewing your performance in each round. Ask yourself, how did you die? Why do you think it happened? Every time you die, there's an opportunity to analyze and reflect on what you did wrong. If you made a mistake but you don't review it and you continue playing the way you are, it is quite unlikely that you are going to improve because you are not adjusting or improving. For example, if you died because you didn't clear your corners properly or you didn't use your utility well and that caused you to die and you continued not to do so, then how do you expect to improve that aspect of your game if you don't identify what you did wrong? In a situation like this, recording your gameplay and watching it back would help. You may think you're doing great, but when you watch it back, you may notice some mistakes or even other mistakes that you did not identify during your game. It's kind of like singing for some people. You might sound great and think you're great, but record yourself singing your favorite song and play it back, and you may realize that actually you don't sound that good. I mean, neither do I. So reflect on what happened in each round and maybe after your game, write it down and see if you start to notice patterns and things you can improve on. Alright, so the final topic I want to go over is about taking a break after a game, especially a loss. If you lose a game and you have the urge to get that win back, or if you're frustrated that you lost, you are probably not in the right zone to focus and play at your best. In a situation like that, as mentioned earlier, reflect on what went wrong or do something else for a couple of minutes to remove you from that negative zone of losing. Things you can do can be standing up and walking around a little bit, watching YouTube, checking your phone, or anything else which will take your mind away from the loss. Once you feel your irritation or frustration reduce, then queue up. If you don't want to take a break from your computer, then maybe play a deathmatch game to reset. Even if you win, think about what went well and make an effort to continue performing well. And think about what you could have improved. Valorant requires a lot of focus, and like working out or studying, you need to take breaks to get back into it. Give yourself a couple of minutes or even longer, and when you feel relaxed, be ready to queue up and consider the factors mentioned in this video. I hope these tips are helpful to you. I felt to make this video as these are things you can do literally in your next ranked session, and I would love to know if applying these tips have helped you in your performance and experience when playing Valorant. Let me know in the comments below. Until next time, thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next video.